Hi, good morning. Mga ka-Tribu, it's another Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk, where we discuss current issues that matter to each of us. This is Chito, Lozada.
And we are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. I'm Teddy Montelibano. In this morning's episode, we are joined by the chairman of the Makati Rotary Club Foundation and a member of Flnex Board of Directors, Mr. Senen being Matoto.
Welcome to our show, Bing.
Thank you, Chito. Thank you, Terry.
Hi, hello.
He's an old friend.
Flnex, Flnex. There's only one of like 100 other affiliations. Yeah, but then but okay, sir. So thank you for making time to come joining us in Straight Talk.
How can I say no to you?
And, he's a regular, Bing Matoto is a regular columnist, so he's one of the family.
Correct.
The paper's honored likewise to have you as as one of the columnists. Mr. Matoto, you have a very long experience in the private sector.
Private sector.
Banking private sector. With the BPI and other companies. No? Right now, you are with the Makati Rotary Club.
Yes.
You're previously the president,
Yeah.
previous Rotary year. And that year is over and your term as president is over, and now you are the foundation, Makati Rotary Foundation chairman.
Yes.
How is the transition like? From
Well-
Makati,
Well, first, the relationship between the foundation and the club.
Yes.
The foundation actually is the owner of various assets that our club owns collectively.
So you have the money.
Well, I guess we do. These assets are composed of various properties, commercial primarily, that were ceded to the foundation years back. Remember when the Laurel Langley Treaty expired, when companies needed to donate to a non-profit organization? So Rotary Club of Makati was one of the beneficiaries. So we ended up having properties that generate lease rentals. So obviously over the past few years, we've been generating quite good rental revenues. And so we then use these revenues to provide support to the community. And we do that through our club, which is a separate legal entity by itself, which is the Rotary Club of Makati. So in essence, that's our relationship.
Sure, but a lot of our the people who watch the show are not very much aware, or they're not very familiar with Makati Rotary and what is it, and what its functions are, and what is it involved in.
Well,
You can give us like a capsule.
sure. Well, of course, our club is basically a Rotary club that is in the Philippines, that is part of the total world of Rotary, which is the Rotary International, no? Which started years back, I think, or over 100 years ago. And I think we are probably the third or fourth that was created in the country. And you've got names like Rotary Club Manila, Cebu, and then Makati, no?
Manila is the oldest, no, in Asia.
Manila is
First
the
and
oldest.
in
Yes,
Asia.
yes. So each Rotary Club has its own distinct organizational structure, and it's part of a district. And each district, there are about 10 districts all over the
Philippines?
country. Yeah. And then,
Also various clubs.
the clubs, various clubs, like in our district, which is District 3830, we have something like 100 clubs within. Yeah, within. And then the size of the clubs vary in terms of membership. They vary from, let's say, 30 maybe to as much as 100 plus. Like in our case, we have something like 130 plus members now. All members. So in essence, our members are the ones that are driving the activities of the Rotary Club. Now, what do we do? Rotary Club has this, what they call these 7 areas of focus, no?
7 areas of
Yeah,
focus.
which are essentially, if you take a look at the sustainable activities exposed by the world, so you've got things like sustainable renewable energy, health, community development, all sorts of things related to that. So what our club does is that we provide support to various community projects that are related to each area of focus. And we just don't do it on our own. We do it in cooperation with other Rotary clubs. And our club covers not just Makati, although we're in Makati, we cover clubs all over the Philippines. We cover all the way down, all the way up from the north Isabela, for example, Kawayan, Isabela, we've got a fantastic project there involving vegetables, livelihood, and environment, and then all the way down to Zamboanga, where we provide water for for people, for schools, no, or Palawan. Recently, for example, we had this project in Palawan where we provided a dormitory for some students who had to walk 1 or 2 hours to go to their school. No, so that was a project of Angat Buhay, which was a former Vice President Lenny Robredo's project. Stuff like that is what we do.
Angat buhay.
Yeah, so it takes up a lot of effort. Parang in a way, parang full-time na rin yung
Yes.
maging presidente ka ng Rotary Club.
For resources, you need resources to
Yeah.
help these community projects. Where do you get? How do you raise the resources?
Well, as I said, it comes
okay,
from
from
the
the
revenues
plus
that
the
we generate
membership-
of our
membership
foundation. Plus, of course,
Donations
membership
to-
fees.
to
No?
membership
Now,
fees.
when we do a project, it's not just our funds that are utilized. We cooperate with other Rotary clubs, as I said. So we generally would ask a Rotary club, let's say in Zamboanga, we would ask them to take a little portion of it. Pwede hati kami 50-50, or they take up 30%, 20%, whatever it is that they can afford, and we take up the balance. But over and above that, we also seek the help of Rotary International. May mga sister clubs then outside the Philippines.
Because you also donate to you donate also, or you contribute also to
Yes.
international, to Rotary International.
each-
How much of your funds?
Well, these come from really membership fees and donations. No? There's such a thing as what we call mga Paul Harris. So over and above, let's say your club fees, no, which vary of course from club to club, no, depende kanilang disposition. In addition to that, there are also donations asked of members. We have this Paul Harris.
Which Paul Harris?
Paul Harris is one of the founding members of Rotary.
Yeah, okay.
So if you are committed to donate $1,000 a year, you become a member of the Paul Harris Society. Now, anyway, these funds that are accumulated from each club all over the country are then given to the Rotary International, a percentage of which go back to your
fund
Rotary district,
to fund your activities and
which can
projects.
then be a source for other clubs to generate contribution from. Now, other clubs in other countries also have something similar. So, for example, we do a project. We need not confine ourselves to getting the help of a sister club in the Philippines. We can also get support from a sister club outside the country,
Outside
which
the
we've done.
country.
No? So they come in and then they give a little money. Likewise, we're also expected to commit to have some projects also outside the Philippines. So ganun lang yun. There's a cooperation.
Parang complementary.
So that's how the Rotary world exists.
Do you work with government?
Do I personally work with government? Does Rotary?
Rotary.
Well, yeah. It depends on the project. Sometimes it involves a project. For example, we have this project involving livelihood and the environment. We call it the ARC, Advancement for Rural Kids.
ARK.
Which, by the way, our club project won an award for. We were second on one of the environmental projects that were recognized. No? So, for example, in that case, this is a project that encouraged communities, farming communities, to build their own backyard farm. Then they plant and produce some mga vegetables, and then afterwards they share it with the other community members. Nagkakaroon ng parang fiesta day, nag-share sila. Now this being done with the cooperation of a foundation from the States, who are Filipino Americans who came in, and one of our members is a member of the board, I think chairman of the board of trustees of that foundation. They came in here with the technology, etc., how to get it organized. Now in doing that, the philosophy is to work with local government. In other words, it's not just the private sector. Para magkaroon ng suporta, they co-opt the local government to come up with a little portion also of the money. So everybody is part of the whole process. So those are instances where we work
Where
with.
is this? Zamboanga?
I think we're going on our 5th project already.
Where?
Sa north.
North.
Kawayan, Isabela. Zamboanga is water project, private sector naman yun.
nga pala.
One Isabela is Winston Uys territory.
Yeah, one of our members, who's one of our esteemed members, Universal
Leaf Philippines. Yeah.
he's the biggest tobacco guy in the
Fantastic.
country.
You
And
know
so,
that guy's
The
blind.
Mercer Leaf. Yeah.
but he's legally blind.
Winston is legally blind pala. No?
You should interview him. He's got a lot of ideas, and
Yeah, anytime she's in the list there.
he's a good guy.
Yeah, okay. Boy,
You will.
so that really, that Because there's an impression that, Rotary, mayayaman na yan. They play golf.
Elite-
Sit around, they
elite,
meet once a week,
group,
and then they have, all these.
Play golf and
But this is really
talk.
much more substantial.
Absolutely.
To,
Absolutely.
to what the Rotary does. I mean, in terms of society, really.
Absolutely.
And
I had the
what
same
really
impression as you had before.
What really impressed me was this.
Recently, we were in Payatas.
Correct. We were
Yes,
there last
just-
Let me
weekend.
just say something. What impressed me really with Rotary and why I thought that my covering it was worth doing, no, I was very hesitant, as I said, was because I thought that, hey, these guys have money. So, but usually the Rotary members are quite accomplished, no? They can just donate, but no, what sets them apart from just any person who has money to spend or to spare is that they don't only donate, they go out there and they physically take care and care for the projects, the activities itself. For me, I'm a lazy person, sorry. But that's something that I think really,
Enlightened ka na ngayon, ha?
that's really amazing, especially from somebody who's lazy like me. But no, seriously, recently you were in Payatas.
Yeah.
Again, people, I don't know whether I'm the only one, but it seems like, what is Payatas and why did you go there?
Anyway, sorry if I'm like this because I'm with friends anyway, so I can be comfortable with Teddy and Chito. No? Payatas actually stands for Payat na Taas. Na itaas.
Payat,
Okay?
payat na itaas.
Taas. Why? It really stands for an area or property that was uphill that was not good enough for planting rice. Kasi payat, kaya itaas, nasa taas. So, yun naging kinuha yung Payatas. Anyway,
Where's the location?
sa Quezon City, malapit sa Batasan Pambansa.
Beyond Batasan
Yeah.
Pambansa.
Oo. So, anyway, I guess government needed certain parts of our NCR where our garbage, people don't know where garbage goes, right? People just dump it there and they don't know saan ba pupunta yun. Anyway, for people, we've got various landfills all over NCR and Payatas. Same as Smoky Mountain. was one
Payatas is
of
the
them.
In
biggest.
Manila. Yeah.
Manila. So yun, so Payatas was one of them. Of course, like any landfill over time, tambak ng basura.
And a lot
then-
of poor
Hold on.
people.
But there were people living there.
Okay.
There's a-
Again, let me
Leave of the
let me explain what
garbage.
happens. You may wonder what happens to the trash. Of course, the trash goes to a certain dump site, and it's also used to fill the land. But then it also serves as a source of livelihood
Correct.
Because
for people, because people pick certain refuse that can be recycled.
Can be recycled.
So yun ang hanap buhay ng madaming tao na hindi natin
binibili
alam.
ito. Binibili itong
Binibili yan ng mga
waste
nagre-recycle, ng mga
Money from
nagpo-process.
trash.
like plastics and all that. Yeah.
So hanap buhay ng mga tao yun. And so as a concert, kung hanap buhay nun, they want to live there. Because para convenient sila, para pagdating
Logical
ng
lang.
garbage truck, sila,
na siya.
sila nauna, naguunahan sila.
Yung pick garbage.
Correct. So you can imagine, no? I mean, makikita mo yung mga tirahan doon. Within nagiging mountain kaya naging smoky mountain Why is it smoky? Because nag-emit ng methane yun
Yeah,
methane.
methane, yeah.
Okay, which we all know is bad for the environment, right?
Environment, yeah.
Now, over time, nagkakaroon ng mountain doon and people carve out certain small cubby holes. Doon sila tumitira. Unbelievable.
In the trash. This is Payatas?
I mean, Smoky Mountain, what Payatas was before. And then over time, syempre, pag nagkakaroon ng bagyo,
Yun.
Magla-landslide.
Yun yung
magkakaroon sila
problem.
yun, syempre. I mean, because hindi naman stable yun So, after a while, pag malaki na yung trash doon, combine it with strong rain,
Nag-landslide.
nagla-landslide. So, there was a landslide, obviously, in Payatas.
What
I
year?
think 2000 yata yung nangyari.
Yeah, that was
2000 or 2010, I can't remember. Maybe 2010. And there were hundreds of scavengers who were
perished.
buried in the
Oh my
in that landslide. No? And then, yun ang official count, 287 yata yun. But then there's another 300 unreported missing pero hindi mahanap yung katawan. But then, if you talk to people there, siguro as much as 1,000 ang nawala ron. So,
What was your involvement then?
No. Okay, yeah.
well, obviously Payatas is a community that needed help, no? And so, if you remember, I said that we provide support. And so, in the case of Payatas, merong British expat doon na decided to live there.
Okay.
And this fellow's name is Roy Moore. No?
How did he get there?
He was a student studying sociology, I believe, in UK.
Yes.
More than a dozen years ago. And then as part of his studies, they were asked, I guess, to research on a particular area where, we could go and take a look at the situation. And so he decided it was Payatas. So he came over here, saw how it was, and then after graduating, went back to UK. I guess he saw enough to be able to be convinced na, hey, this is a community kailangan tulungan. I'm a fantastic fellow.
He wanted to do something for the
Yeah,
community.
so came back, lived, and continues to live in Payatas.
Wow. With his family?
Well, he married eventually a Filipino woman, and then he took up his master's in UP. Speaks
Studies.
probably more fluent Tagalog than you, Teddy, who coming from...
I can imagine.
Hindi mo marunong mag-Ilonggo eh.
anyway,
No, but he took up political
Big and-
science though.
yeah, which is part, I guess, of
Yeah.
sociology. Anyway, so he's a fellow who
He was
creates...
accepted by the community.
Yeah,
Well, why not?
Puti.
well,
Nobody's
well,
talking
may story yan, may story yan.
activista to, ano to. That was during the time eh.
Well,
when he went
I'll
there.
tell you, may story din yun how he sort of got himself immersed.
But before we get to
Okay.
that, we're having a commercial.
Ano, buhay mo na.
Ano buhay?
Okay.
Ano na?
Alright.
Yeah, but fascinating.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Well, Ted,
We're back.
we're back.
We're back here. A very interesting conversation
Yeah.
with former president of the Makati Rotary.
We're being enlightened about
Now he's
the,
now the chairman of Makati Rotary Foundation. Okay, Mr.
a
B.
group
Matoto.
that we thought to be
Yeah,
an
we're talking
elitist group.
about one of their projects. One of their current projects is, helping the people of Payatas. Payatas. I am also enlightened about Payatas. It's a huge area in beyond the Commonwealth, beyond Batasang Pambansa in Quezon City, that was inhabited by, well, how should I say it? Scavengers, no.
Yeah, squatters, people who...
It's a depressed area,
Yeah.
but people actually they derive a certain form of livelihood picking trash to be sold to people who recycle this trash. No, so you get involved, as I said. As we said, we were talking about you getting involved.
How we got involved.
And there is a British person there, of British nationality, who came to Payatas a long time ago and decided to help, not only to help, but to immerse himself in the community, doing things for the community through sports, among other things.
Yeah. Well, primarily, he felt that through sports, particularly for the young,
Yes.
they don't know what they're doing. They're just playing, kicking few balls. So through that, he started encouraging young people to play football, soccer. Now, one of those kids, her name is Ronaldine Lagarta,
Ronaldine Ligarta.
Logarta.
Logarta.
Basically was also a scavenger. She comes from a family of about 11,
Wow, 11 kids.
and so at the age of 9 years old, to help her father, who was unemployed,
She started at 9 years
started
old, picking trash.
becoming a scavenger. And so she recounted, for example, to me that she would sometimes wake up 4 in the morning, not sometimes, more often than not, wake up at 4 in the morning, go over to Commonwealth, so she could catch the dump trucks that were heading to Payatas, so she could clamber up the truck, so then she'd be first to pick by the time it
She's
reaches
not a resident
Payatas.
of Payatas.
She has to do that to be the first.
To be the first. And then she would do that until about mga 9 o'clock in the morning,
5 hours.
and then go to school, still smelling, and then her classmates would tease her, ba't ang baho-baho mo? And then in the afternoon, go back again to the dump site to continue. So, on a bad day, mga 50 pesos kikitain niya. On a good day, 200 pesos a day.
A day.
So, ganun ang buhay noon. So anyway, this particular child, na-notice, magaling mag-football, na-notice ng mga schools.
Roy Moore.
Roy, I guess, encouraged some schools to take a look at their kids who were there to be able to see kung sino pwede maging football player.
To
She was one of them.
conditions, yeah.
And so over time, she was given an athletic scholarship
Well, that's good.
by USD.
USD.
And she went to school, graduated cum laude,
Wow.
in sports development. Then after graduating, sort of going somewhere else, decided to go back to the community,
Great.
to help her
Fantastic story.
community, and to join si Roy Moore, that British transplant, to assist in teaching other children. And Ronaldine is not the only one there. There are about easily a few others there who have gone back to the community to help.
I mean, they've gone out already. and
They've
then
gone
they
out
went-
already. They've joined schools like UP, FAU, became champions. Some of them joined the national
To the
team.
help of Roy Moore.
Well, because of
Students
their,
of- yeah.
these were kids before who were taught how to play soccer, who became so good that they were recruited, drafted by schools, ended up having scholarships, and some made the national team.
Fantastic. So
And
is
so
Roy
this
Moore.
Ronaldine is one of those na our Rotary Club, when we had this this project where we decided to recognize the 10 outstanding youth of the land who best espouse Rotary's service areas of focus. She was one of 10 finalists from all over the country. So we brought them over to Manila, gave them additional training, etc., etc. And then during the interview, I was one of the panelists. We decided on 3 others, actually, who we felt really best, I guess, demonstrated what we stand for, And most of them were related to the medical field. Isang taga Mindanao na babae, Muslim, studying to be a doctor. Another one was a nurse, a guy from Laguna, also moving into medicine, but into using naman the web to promote. And then the one who won was somebody who's also moving into that area, but using recycled bottles.
Recycle bottle.
But the point is, let me finish, Ted. No, so tapos na interview namin, I just felt strongly that this Ronaldine needed
The girl
recognition.
from Payatas.
Yeah. And so the board of judges decided, let's give this person a special award recognition. So she, together with 3 others, were given special recognition. So that's the story. So when this opportunity in Payatas came about, where this British, there is this British Filipino naman, that's another story.
Marcus
Si
Smith.
Marcos Smith.
Who is Marcus?
Marcos Smith is a young man
Filipino.
who's half Filipino. His mother is also a Filipina
Grew up in the
who grew up in UK, and he became the equivalent of Stephen Curry sa basketball.
Very.
Yan ang kanyang
superstar.
position sa rugby naman.
He's a
He's not
superstar
tall,
in the UK.
but he's fast, and he's the guy who scores. They call it a fly half sa rugby.
Fly.
I had to research on rugby. Anyway, so this fellow Marcos Smith,
He came over.
he came over. I don't know if he's left already. And then he paid a visit to the president of the country, Bongbong Marcos. And then,
What drew him here?
Well, because I guess of his roots. And then he also has his own foundation to help. Oh. So he came over, I guess, looking for some projects to support. So we talked to him about the possibility of linking up
How did you
with
know?
Payatas.
How did you know Marcus Smith? How did Rotary?
Well, our current president was British.
Keith Harris.
Knows
I see.
the family, and so that was the connection during one social function. The idea came up. So when he came over, we had organized with Payatas. Turned out the guy who was in charge of the sports center is also a Brit. So parang things sort of fell into place.
Fell into place.
And so we decided, sige, let's have a project there. The project was going to be to teach the kids in Payatas naman a new sport, rugby.
Wasn't rugby the same as soccer? Football,
No.
whatever?
It's different.
Rugby is unlike
Parang American football na...
well, American football is
hybrid.
You run with the ball, etc. No? Parang hybrid. No? Rugby is different. No? You kick and then you run with the ball. Basically, run with the
Beckham.
ball.
What does Beckham play?
He's
Ano,
a-
soccer.
Soccer yun.
But he's also Brit. I don't know. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, but the thing is, this guy comes over
He
to
came over,
the Philippines.
and so nagturo siya sa mga bata sa Payatas.
Nag-train.
Siyempre, binigyan training, and then we got the help of one of our Rotary members, Rick Santos, who's the owner of the Volcanoes. It's called Volcanoes. It's our top rugby,
right. Oh, in rugby.
rugby team in the country. They
Team.
participate internationally.
He's a Rotarian.
Rick Santos is our member. He's half Filipino, half American. Taga Sambuanga naman yun.
Tiga Sambuanga.
So he donated some
He's a
equipment.
property guy eh.
Yes, he is.
Si Rick Santos.
He's in the property business.
Okay.
So he donated some balls and some tees, and then si Marcus Smith came with some merchandise from UK, and then our club also provided some uniforms, and of course the whole team.
Wait,
no?
so there is
So,
a Payatas team? May football.
meron parang mga bata doon, and then they have their own team. Mga bata pa, mga 12 years old.
Rugby or
They
soccer?
play soccer.
Soccer.
Well, I'll tell you a funny anecdote. So, dinuturuan sila ni Marcos. So, syempre, kinakausap ko yung mga bata. At ano, ang tingin mo, mas gusto mo, football or rugby? Rugby! Ayoko, masama ko yan. Diba sabi sa akin? Diba? Sabi ko naman ito no? So, then I would talk to another kid. So, anong gusto mo? Soccer, rugby. Soccer kasi rugby yung masama yun. Sabi, ano ba yung, dapat masama. Yung rugby yung inaamoy yun.
Naamoy.
So, nasa ulo nila.
Kasi ganun
What you
yung
sniff?
mga...
I mean,
Widespread sa mga ano yun eh.
that was what na rugby daw masama because yun parang anyway, I have to tell you that was really a funny incident that so Marcus then introduced rugby, and so the whole idea now is that
He demonstrated.
yeah, absolutely, with his two younger brothers.
Okay.
And so the whole idea now is together with our co-Rotarian, si Rick Santos, he owns the team, Volcanoes. And then they have a junior team also called Mavericks.
Mavericks.
Agreed to have an arrangement where they would come regularly to Payatas to continue the clinic sa mga bata. So hindi lang yung one time, one day affair. So yeah, so it has become a very interesting proposition. And of course,
Congratulations, you were able to do that.
well, hopefully it's just a small beginning, because what we would like to do as a Rotary Club is to help them, that community, in other projects. Like for example, in that sports center, meron siyang area doon na medyo may cover na. Nag-umpisa walang cover. Then he's got another area na kailangan din malinis.
This is
Maybe
Roy, this is Roy.
Si Roy. So maybe that's a project that we could be involved with and get the help of other Rotary clubs, both here and from abroad. So hopefully, it will start getting other organizations to
Anyway,
help.
Payatas is a huge,
Yeah, if you go there, who can guide us to? I mean, kasi
I can guide you, Teddy. Ikaw naman talaga ako.
Maybe there's an 8,000 hectares.
Well, no, of course we can go to Roy, we can go to Ronaldin, and you can do what I did, which was to walk for 2 hours up and down the roads of Payatas, okay? Para makikita mo talaga.
Is there any housing project there for the...
Mga houses pa rin, ang dami pa rin
So
houses
wala.
doon.
Wala.
So, parang neglected sila with the government.
Well, I don't know if the word is neglected, but it's meant to be now what they call a green community. So you
Green?
still have the mountain ranges or hill ranges. May mga damo, may mga trees, pero nilipat nga sa Montalban, Pero, underneath that, yung foundation nun, puro mga garbage
Puro
pa rin.
garbage.
Okay. And
Puro
then may
plastic.
definitely may mga bahay pa rin doon.
Doing that. I mean, with the...
Well, they basically,
families
may
living
mga
there.
parang recycling, mga processors na ron. So I guess they get now part of their garbage from Montalbano, wherever that was. But then there, I also saw still some dump trucks. I don't know what they do with it, but I still saw some dump trucks when I was there. So it's not like what it was before, na talagang regular. No?
Yeah, because they closed that dump site.
Oh well, because of the accident. No? I mean, government said.
Pero meron pa rin.
Well, I don't know whether they still dump it, but all I can tell you is that there's still people there. Thousands of people living there. All I can tell you, I still saw some
Ah, sa
trucks
gabi.
with some. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there at night, and but anyway, yung kwento ko lang about this fellow Roy, how he immersed himself.
Okay.
So he first went there. His first few nights, pagbalik niya sa bahay, somebody broke into his small hut. Talagang kung makikita mo, maliit. Got his laptops and everything.
Wow.
Siyempre, Then, since he was already known in the community, kinuha yung barangay, after a few days, may bumalik.
Bumalik.
Sinuli. So, ganun ang kanyang initial exposure. But because nakikita siya palagi ron, the community started trusting him. So when we were going around, people would greet him, "Oh, kuya, kuya." And he would greet back in the vernacular. I mean, that's the kind of fellow it is. So you should get to meet him.
Yeah, I met him yesterday.
How old is he now?
Roy, it's probably, my guess,
30 na siya.
30
Yeah,
plus.
in his 30s. He's in his 30s.
He started 18.
so
Yeah. Yeah,
he's been living in the country, I think, for easily a dozen years, maybe even more.
Yeah, that's true.
So, he's very
At
passionate.
18, he saw it, then he went back to the UK,
The
finished his
UK.
studies, and then came back.
And then
And then we started...
took up his master's in
He
UP.
took up masters in UP. Then but he started...
While
working
living
already.
in,
Well, he was living in
Payatas.
Payatas all through.
But that's really fascinating. Can you
Right.
imagine this guy that comes from a developed
should
country?
do that.
No, you should convince the Fed. You should convince really to join us in Mr. Matoto.
No, because through
That
you,
would be a good
you can talk about it, the
project.
other organizations can help.
Yeah.
Diba? In fact, my article today was about
Yes,
the
Yeah,
experience.
that's great.
And then so I shared
It's a
that with
beautiful,
some friends.
article.
Some friends were reacting already.
Oh.
So, for example, in my class, AIM, classmate, our batch in AIM, composed of some guys who are really accomplished already, and would be, I think, prepared to help. Another group from Alabang, yung mga kasama ko sa golf, also texted me, parang, how can we help? So, in other words, through you guys, media,
Yeah, we can just support. No? And
then,
give
you know,
support to that. No?
then get them, you can have a special team go over there and check how things are para,
We can,
can
ask,
plan that.
we can even ask that guy that the guy who does films for us. What's his name? The
Yeah.
husband of King Guy. King Guy Ontiveros. He
yeah.
does it. This guy's
So-
amazing guy.
so media can really do a lot of things. You can get private sector help,
Correct, yeah.
you can help get government to help more, di ba?
Yeah, I'm so amazed that government is.
I know, I'm not saying they're not doing it, but maybe it's not enough. Because limited na resources ng gobyerno. I mean, I know naman that for a fact. No? I mean, it's not like we're saying, but like anything else, may mga priorities yan. Saan natin dadalhin? And right now, it seems that talking
So
about
not-
economy,
But even the
mukhang,
local government, Quezon City,
Quezon City
one of the
should be.
richest in the country, di ba? One of the
Yeah.
richest LGUs in the country.
yeah, but
Yeah, maybe that's.
kanya-kanyang situation yan. But
Okay, now.
Now we take another commercial break. So hold on your.
okay.
We can talk about the foundation.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, Hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Isang magandang araw mga kaliwanag at ganun na din sa mga katribu. Nakakalungkot nga ang nangyari sa marami nating kababayan dahil sa pananalasa ng Super Typhoon Karina. Daming pamilya, lalo na sa aming mga customer sa Meralco, ang naapektuhan at nalubog sa baha. Kaya kami sa Meralco naging puspusan ang pagtugon namin sa mga pangangailangan ng aming mga customer nitong mga panahon na ito. Hindi po tumigil ang ating mga crew kahit malakas ang ulan o mataas ang baha sa pagbibigay serbisyo. Mula sa pansamantalang pag-alis ng supply ng kuryente para maiwasan ang aksidente, hanggang sa muling pagbabalik ng supply sa oras na ligtas na ang sitwasyon. Napakahalaga po ng public safety para sa amin dito sa Meralco. Kaya bago po namin ibalik yung aming serbisyo sa mga lugar na lumubog sa baha o gayon din sa mga nasirang electric facilities, sinisiguro namin na ligtas muna ito para sa lahat ng customers ng Meralco. Ini-inspect po muna ng aming mga tauhan ang mga lugar na nawala ng serbisyo ng kuryente para malaman kung ano ang naging sira o problema sa aming pasilidad. Kapag nalaman na namin ang naging problema, uumpisahan ng kumpunihin ang mga pangunahing linya ng kuryente. Sa oras na ito, darating ang aming mga equipment at mga kagamitan na gagamitin sa pagsasaayos. Una po naming inaayos ang aming mga linya ng kuryente na nasa main sections. Kapag okay na ang main power lines, ay susunod natin agad ayusin ang mga linya sa mga kali at mga kabahayan. Ito po yung dahilan kung bakit maraming mga bahay ang hindi agad na ibabalik ang serbisyo ng kuryente noong kasagsagan ng bagyo. Dahil maaaring wala ng baha sa kanilang kalye pero sa kalapit na mga lugar, lalo na yung sa major sections, ay hindi pa ligtas na ibalik ang supply. Ngayon, fully restored na halos ang serbisyo ng kuryente sa lahat ng apektado at salamat sa magigitin nating mga line crew na 24/7 walang tigil na magtrabaho sa kabila ng bagyo at baha, walang tigil sa restoration efforts doon sa mga lugar na apektado. Saludo kami sa inyong lahat. Bukod din sa pagre-restore at pagsasaayos ng linya ng kuryente, tumulong din po kami ang aming employee volunteers sa Meralco Rescue sa disaster response, partikular sa mga pagsaklolo sa mga na-stranded dahil sa baha. Agaran din nagbahagi ng libu-libong relief packs ang One Meralco Foundation para sa mga pamilyang pinakaapektado ng bagyo sa iba't ibang bahagi ng aming franchise area. Nakabantay pa rin po kami anumang oras upang agad rumesponde sakali man magkaroon muli ng service interruptions o anumang emergency situations. Layo namin na ayusin ang aming pasilidad na naapektuhan ng bagyo sa lalong madaling panahon. Maaring mag-message ang aming mga customers sa aming mga social media channels kung sakaling may iba pang concerns. Ako po muli ang inyong lingkod, Manong Joe, hanggang sa susunod na episode natin.
Hi,
Okay,
Ted.
we're back.
We're back. We're still with
back, and,
Mr. Matoto.
Too short, 45 minutes, too short for such a very interesting guest. Who was sharing with us other amazing information on what the Rotary has been doing. And Rotary, as Rotary President, Rotary Makati President, and now Rotary Makati Foundation Chairman. So, Mr. Matoto, can you give us that, just in a nutshell, what are the current projects and what do you propose for as Foundation Chairman?
Well, our role really in our world is really to provide the support, the resources for a club to execute, which of course then as a consequence would be projects that have been determined to be what we'll be pushing for, which would be things like mental health, for example. We have this Jean Goldborn relationship, no?
Yes.
Which is, I don't know if you've heard of Jean, but
Ay,
she was
she's
a famous
friend of mine. I know Jean and
model,
the
etc.
story-
The fashion.
The story of the daughter.
Yeah,
I know
Natasha
very-
Goldborn Foundation. And so during my Rotary year, got to meet Jean and decided that we can work together on mental health.
Yeah,
Now, mental health is a major issue in our country
correct.
because you know that we have only something like 500 psychiatrists all over the country.
500?
500?
Psychiatrists.
The whole
The whole
nation.
country.
Is it a lot or is that...
That's
500
few.
for 112 million people. Come on. I mean, that's like a pittance.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, you know, in other
And
words,
the
people who
pressure.
need help,
Yeah.
especially,
More the youth, no?
well, you know, especially with COVID, etc. A lot of the children, the young, have been affected. Now, let me tell you a story about mental health involving the kids. Kids, when they have problems, they don't normally go to their parents. The last person that go to would be a father or a mother. Would either react and say, kung malaki kami, okay lang yan.
Yeah.
So what do they end up doing? They go and talk to their friends.
Yes.
Okay? And so, kung mali ang makausap niyang kaibigan,
Wala.
some commentary might be detrimental, lalong sasama. And I'm sure you've had stories of kids, families who've had children meet unfortunate. In, you know, in my own circle of relatives, meron ganon. One fine day, kala mo everything's normal, bigla na lang babalitaan mo,
Yeah, yeah.
commit ng suicide. So, what Jean Goldborn does is that she has this program that provides mental health support to the young. How? She created this program called Superiors Hero, Super Heroes,
Pero.
peer group,
Peer group.
and a play on superheroes.
Yes.
So the whole objective there is to provide training to selected youth leaders, quote-unquote, yung mga medyo sa kanilang sa eskwela niya. And then give them training. So it's a 4-day course, 2 weekends. Then she would bring in psychologists and counselors.
May
Meron.
professional.
And so our club's role, for example, is to provide the resources to help her execute that. So, you know, we provide her resources by way of the food that's given or the prices that are given, the fees paid to the resource persons. So, and so we've done that already with 4 schools. Dito sa Makati, dito sa tabi ng aming Rotary Club, malapit sa Rockwell, Gregorio del Pilar. Okay, that's where we started.
Public school.
A public school. And then we've gone to the Girls Town in Cavite, Silang Cavite, and the Boys Town, also in Silang Cavite, being run by the Sisters of Mary. Okay? We've
It's your beneficiary, you know.
ito yung mga bata. In other words, so went there with a program to identify certain youth standouts. Sila naging ano ngayon. So, 2 weekends yan,
Mostly street
4 sessions.
children. Yan.
Mga bata. Okay? I don't know if
Boys
you're
and
familiar
Girls
with Girls Town, Boys Town. They get
Of course, we're familiar with it.
from the poorest of the poor. Okay? So, those kind of projects, we realized, going to different projects all over the country, everybody needs help. All that I would talk to, I would ask, inquire about, kamusta na anong kailangan ng mga bata rito? Because we provide books, for example, sa mga eskwela.
Right.
Then, when I bring up the matter of mental health, they always welcome it. Yeah, gusto namin yan. So, hopefully, that will continue to be a project that we can support this Rotary year. And our foundation, of course, our task is to provide the necessary resources to do that. So that's one project na importante sa amin. Another would be, for example, providing training naman. Most of our graduates now end up go to college, etc. They finish college. What they end up doing? They end up doing work that's not really suitable to their academic accomplishments. So there's this organization called Dual Tech.
Dual Tech, yes.
Dual Tech is, again, a foundation composed of people who want to help. And what help do they provide? By providing them training, vocational type of training, electromechanical type of skills. You can, using German technology. More important, they are in cooperation with several corporate partners. Why? Why is it called Dual Tech? So there's a 6-month holistic type of training, teaching them skills. Then after 6 months, then they are placed on the job training
Oh,
with corporations.
okay.
So their facility is in Laguna, for example, one of the zones there. So for 12 months to 18 months, they train there on the job, may sweldo, merong allowance. Then they go back and parang nagkakaroon parang finishing ano.
How are they chosen?
Again, they I guess anything else, they go all over the country. Dual Tech has various outlets.
You go around the country, Rotary goes
Well,
around?
Dual Tech does that,
is-
but then what we do is we provide the resources to provide the allowances,
resources.
the train.
Okay.
You know, parang we give them the
Dual
scholarships.
Tech is what? Is it run by the private sector?
Private,
or-
yeah.
Private sector.
Walang involvement of government yan. But it's certified, yung course is certified with TESDA. And, met some graduates who are really accomplished already and
How
gone
long
on to
have
work
you been-
abroad.
How long have you been doing that? How long has
We
Rotary
started
been
that
involved
during
in-
my year. I introduced
term.
Dual Tech to our club, and then I'm hoping that it will be continued to be
Should.
supported by our club, no?
Galing, huh?
So,
Okay.
I mean, that's just one of two maybe projects that, I'd like to see
In the
follow through.
environment, you also have environment projects.
Yeah, on the environment, we have that project that we have in up north, no? Through that arc, remember that vegetable garden.
Yes, yes.
Then instead of using eventually mga chemicals, start using the compost, fertilizer. That, for example. Or we've got this terrific
Has that been
project.
replicated? Has that been replicated?
Yes, there are about 4 or 5 communities also that have been supported by
Only in the north.
Yeah, but let me tell you about a nice environmental project that I should mention. Obviously familiar with BGC, right? Okay, BGC, there's a path there between Manila Gulf and the start of all the condos, right?
Between Manila Gulf and
Wall ng Manila Gulf tapos,
along Makindi
well,
or at the back?
ito yung McKinley, as you reach the edge of Manila Gulf, condos na yun. Meron
Yung
parang green
gardens.
path doon, may
Oh.
garden doon. Oh, that is a greenway project ng Makati Rotary. Environmental yun.
What is that Greenway project?
It is meant for people to use it, to go walk, do their stroll, to do jogging. There's a lot of greenery there. But it's not just a club providing the resources. There are partners along that path, partners who are helping. Now, the whole idea now, and it's our member now, si Charlie Rufino, who was,
Charlie,
is into property there, no? Who is heading this. And the whole idea now is to extend it.
From where?
Maybe even to reach, the whole idea is to extend it all the way to EDSA.
That would be a
The
work
vision is
plan.
to loop around Makati.
Look around.
And then ending sa Senate building na ginagawa. Parang doon parang ikot. So people, instead of walking,
That's
taking a bus, maglalakad. Yun ang
That's
vision.
through EDSA?
Well, I guess the whole idea doon is magkakaroon siguro
May
ng,
mga vegetables din doon eh.
well,
The
if you
harvest.
go there, may mga trees, may
It's a
mga,
Greenway. Yeah.
it's a greenway. I mean, conceivably, you can have some patches of vegetables
Trees nga
created
yan.
as you pass communities. Maglalagay. I mean,
There's also
anything can be done.
I mean, our photographers go around taking shots of it. We should ask them to go there and take
Take a look at it.
pictures
It's called Greenway.
Greenway.
So that's an environmental project.
I guess we have to
there. I
wrap
also
up.
have something about the sea. Yung
Don't
the
want to
coral,
wrap
the
up.
coral.
Okay. That's a different one. Sa reef buds naman yun.
What's the reef
Well,
about?
basically, our coral reef, di ba, nagde-degenerate. So, a few years ago, one of our members started this project in Ilocos where, there's this parang reef buds. These are like cone-like concrete structures with some chemicals. And so, those reef buds then are brought into the ocean. They drop it among the coral reef, and that attracts fish. And over time, nabubuhay yung coral reef.
Oh, fantastic.
Nabubuhay.
Which part of the country is that?
Sa Ilocos, meron.
Which locals?
Sa may Navigan area. Narvacan was where we went.
Narvacan. Is it coastal?
Yeah, coastal. Oh.
Fantastic. Okay.
We have to ask
Chito,
you
you're going to be a
to,
member of the Rotary Club now? Are you impressed?
You should.
if we have time.
I've been trying to invite Mr. Fernandez to be our member of Rotary Club of
He's not a
Makati.
member yet. He should be.
Hindi I mean,
I don't know why.
alam naman I guess he's got a lot of also other Rotarian friends we have to. Nag-uunang kami kung saan siya pupunta.
So, Bing,
Yeah.
we should ask you to make your parting words.
Okay, anyway, I'm glad to be here and hopefully share with you what we've been doing, and hopefully through what we talked about, maybe others, with your cooperation,
Of course.
can see what kind of other projects can be supported, no? By,
We'll be
because
glad
our
to-
government simply cannot do it on its own.
This is true.
We need the help of the private sector in any way we can. So those are just basically my thoughts. So,
Very worthwhile, and congratulations.
salamat.
Very commendable. We take our hat off to you and Rotary. I hope that this dispels the myth about Rotary and just being a bunch of
Dispels the
people
myth.
sitting back playing
I
golf.
guess
Drinking fine
being
wine.
has already done
It's
that.
more than that. Rotary is much, much more than that. It goes beyond. Goes straight into the community. And these are people not only with the resources to donate, but people who, along with the resources, go out there with the resources of impact. The community that's being helped with the resources to personally nurture and take care of the project. For me, that's a very, very admirable and commendable.
I mean, my own sense here, Ted, Chito, is that a lot of people want help. But sometimes you figure, how do I help, di ba?
Correct.
Rotary provides people an opportunity to be involved in a structure that has a way to be able to facilitate that helping. So I think that's the value of what Rotary can do. It opens your eyes, helps you to be part of the whole process of helping.
Yeah.
That's my sense.
So
We in media can of course, our main role is to support these kind of things. No?
we will.
Thank you very much.
So there we have it from Mr. Bing Matoto himself. Thank you again, sir, for this
course.
on the show.
And I hope you consider part 2. Anyways.
Thank you,
Anytime.
But Straight Talk Live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for interesting guests like Mr. Matoto at Wednesday 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune now on YouTube.
So I'm Chito Lozada.
I'm Terry Montelibano.
Till next time.
Okay.
See you next.